Hello, everyone. Welcome to another LifeWriting.com conversation. With me today to help observe Creative Romance Month is Mr. and Mrs. Dan and Vonetta Parham. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing much better that I finally gotten you guys here and settled in with me. I got to set the stage right, and I'm gonna put Dan on the spot. Not really on the spot, but I'm gonna pose the first question to Dan. I'm wondering, Dan. I'm sure a lot of people know, but I don't. How did it all begin? How did you guys meet?
Well, we both met at West Georgia, University of West Georgia, but it was through a mutual friend of ours, my fraternity brother, Arondis, and he kind of set us up that evening. I think that day it was kind of, they wanted to go somewhere that evening, and so that Arondis just kind of like said, well, Dan can take you to this store or whatever. So, but if you want to elaborate, I'll let Vonetta do that.
Oh yeah, you know what? I do want you to elaborate, Vanessa.
Just a little bit, huh?
Just a little bit. Help us out.
So, like you said, a mutual friend of ours who is our fraternity brother, Arondis, and we call him Omo. My sister Tasha had come up to visit for a step show weekend, and so we wanted to go somewhere later on, and we didn't have transportation, so called Omo, and Omo already knew I liked him, and he just didn't know how to get it together. So he said, "Well, just ask Dan." And so he asked Dan, and Dan came to pick us up, and then we went to go where we needed to go, and then I think Tasha was trying to talk to him, but didn't know that I was interested in him. And so while they were doing whatever it was we went to do, I went back and got back in the car.
Okay. That Dan, is that pretty accurate?
That's accurate, but yeah, that's real accurate.
Hey, Dan's like that's accurate, but I'm gonna leave that right there though. Yeah. Hey, look. So I'm gonna move it along as well. So Dan, now I'm curious from your standpoint, right? So we're talking about creative romance, and typically, well, the research shows that it's pretty much akin to dating. Like how do you spruce it up? How do you spice it up? What does that look like? So, with respect to that, Dan, what was the most creative date you planned?
I think the most creative date was we had just started talking. That was in '94, and it was in Thanksgiving. We actually went to go see Will Downing, Rochelle Farrell, and Tony Terry at the Fox in Atlanta, the Fox Theater. But that several hours before, we actually had dinner, Thanksgiving dinner with our fraternity brother and his girlfriend. So it was a nice romantic day that day. Real romantic.
See, I like that, especially given the artists who are performing. See, when you say Will Downing and a couple of those folks there, see they're gonna automatically like set the mood for you, if you will, right? So,
Right.
kudos, Dan.
Yeah.
I like that, and I always take notes when I'm conducting these type of sessions. So I'm taking notes anyway. And look, and Vanetta is not to say contrary to that or what have you, but what was that? How did you receive that date? What was it? Creative? Was it
It
different?
was it was exciting because that was the first Thanksgiving I'd ever spent away from my family. But that's not the one I was thinking about.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
well, I mean, well, look, well, I asked Dan.
Yeah.
So, Vanetta, which one were you thinking about? The most creative?
So we were celebrating an anniversary, and we got married in the fall. And I think I had gone to work or something, I don't remember, but I came home and he had a picnic made out in the living room of our apartment. and there were grapes, strawberries, and at that time we weren't like really avid or even social drinkers. So we had like sparkling white grape Welch's.
Okay.
And he had cooked, and so we had like a little picnic slash dinner date in the living room on the floor.
Picnic date. He cooked on the floor. Now, see, I'm definitely taking notes with that one, Dan. Some of the concepts of romanticism that a lot of these guys have in 2022, they're a little suspect. I'll just be frank. Okay. Definitely, in my eyes, nothing even remotely close to attracting a woman, let alone sustaining some type of meaningful relationship.
Right.
But anyway, I'm not going to digress there. So, okay, we mentioned those two outings, if you will. There must have been one that didn't really materialize as expected. Vonetta, does anyone come to mind? And quite frankly, this could be one that you plan or Dan planned. What comes to mind?
Truth be told, anything that he's done has generally been top notch. It's been A1.
Okay. Hey, Dan.
But there was this one, like we went to this comedy show, and I was gung ho for it at first, but something happened that day, and I don't remember what it was, and I got mad. So I was mad the rest of the night. So I kind of bombed it. He did fine. It was all me. And it took a while for me to apologize, maybe some years. But
years.
Yeah, because I was young. We were. It was in our earlier,
Okay.
not long after we had moved back to Waynesboro.
Okay.
But I bombed that one. So yeah, but generally, whenever he does something, either like now, like he'll solicit the help from the kids, or he'll ask something, and when I don't think he's paying attention, yeah.
So okay, I get it. Dan, I have to ask you. So is there one? I know she just said, you pretty much knocked it out of the park. I'm paraphrasing. Every time you've planned one or what have you. But from your perspective, does one come to mind that even though it turned out well in her eyes, is there one that comes to your mind that didn't really pan out as you expected?
I'm trying to think of one.
Hey, look, that's a good thing if you can't think of one. Because in my love life, my dating life, I can think of many that did not go well.
I don't know one. I really don't know one.
Hey, look, for real. If you are batting close to 1,000, brother, man, you are truly the anomaly.
After we get off this teleconference, I know it'll come back to me. So I'm just waiting for my memory to come back. So I'm sure there've been one or more. Yes.
I got you. So look. So since your wife, she said it first, and look, everybody saw that you really couldn't think of one. So that's telling me you are the tip master when it comes to planning romantic or a special type of date. So having said all of that, what recommendations would you or tips would you make to a young guy when it comes to planning a creative date?
Well, a lot of times, I think a lot of the young guys, what they do, they go to social media and try to get ideas. But you have to think for yourself and be creative rather than trying to see what others do. Just make your own romantic, but don't wait till the last minute. Plan it in months in advance. One thing, you may want to just do something really nice for your significant other. and just build up to it, to the romantic date. Like, get her nails done. See what she wants, that she likes. That's like, if she likes flowers, most women do not like flowers. So you got to be considerate. Don't just buy flowers just because you think it's nice or a last minute thing, which is the easy access to get. But just pretty much explore your wife, know what your significant other wants, or what would she kind of like. Of course, go get her nails done, pedicure, manicure, those things. I'm pretty sure most women like. So see what she wants and go from there. But be creative. Open the doors is still a great thing to do for a date, for when you're going on a date. Don't just get out the car and she walks behind you. That's a no.
No, I totally with you, brother. Totally with you. And I tell you, I may Vonetta, I may have to pull a Dan and have it like a special little. Now I'm telling you, and I know, unfortunately, I know you guys may be able to attest to some of the missteps. Some of these guys and gals for that matter take, and it's not just to expand on the terms. I said guy and gal, boy and girl, but it's grown-ups too. We kind of lose sight and miss, like Dan, you touched on several times, like knowing her and knowing what she likes, what motivates her, and not, I guess the first thing that came to mind was take this cowboy approach. And no, I'm planning a date, and this is my money. Oh, that's another. Ooh, that's really another conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not. We're not gonna go there. But anyway, it's so important to know your, in this case, obviously your spouse. If she's your spouse, you should know them on some level. But I've run into a lot of folks who don't know certain things about their significant other, their partner, whatever the case may be, and which will cause them to unexpectedly misstep when it comes to planning something like that. So yeah, thanks for laying that out. So Vonetta, what comes to mind when as you think of certain things, and Dan touched on several, but from your vantage point, what comes to mind when you think of certain things that they should absolutely stay away from when they're trying to be creative with the romance?
You touched on one, as far as saying I'm the one planning the date and it's my money. That's the biggie. Mm-hmm. Another thing I think for me is thinking about self before thinking about the person who you're trying to spend that date time with, or your mate. You probably would want to stay away from things more so that you like to do versus things that you think that the two of you can enjoy together. I'm trying to think, like he was talking about our first big date when we went to the concert. And since then, I have developed not a dislike, but I don't enjoy really going out to concerts anymore. Concerts, and I'll do a comedy show every now and again because I love to laugh. But it's more about taking into consideration what you think your partner would enjoy that you would also enjoy, but more so focusing on what it is that your partner or your mate will enjoy. For example, I love to eat. So if you take me somewhere to get some food, you're A+ in my book. Because I mean, he'll ask a lot of times before like big holidays, which I'm not really like big on when it comes to like Christmas, birthdays, Valentine's Day. Because every day, if you're loving and you're giving every day, those days are just regular days of the week, regular days of the month, regular days of the year. So he'll ask before like something big, like, well, what do you want for Christmas? Or what do you want for your birthday or the anniversary? Like, you got some food? Feed me.
Hey, but Vonetta said, I'm easy. You know,
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just me. And I think it's really important for whoever you are, whether you're the male in a relationship or the female in a relationship, know your partner or your mate's love language. And my love language is food.
ooh,
So you need to know the love language. And for a lot of people, it may be touch, it may be jewelry or material things.
right.
I like to eat. I didn't get this size by looking at food. I like to eat. So, and I mean, I do enjoy every now and again, just something that I may want on a whim, but I don't have to have anything, because if there's something that I want and that I think I don't want to break his pocket and I can get it, I'll get it myself. And then he's like left in the dark, like, God, now what am I gonna get?
Right. Right.
But he does know that, like, when it comes to like anniversaries and things like that, don't you send me any flowers to my job. Don't do that, because neither one of us are really big on public display of
affection
or anything like that. Like, we don't have to show the world what we do for each other or how we feel about each other. And so we don't go all out, and we're not really showy people. And because the only people who really needs to know the show are the people you're trying to show it to.
I like it. I like that. I love the way you put that too. Yeah. Dan's definitely over there like, yeah, oh yeah, that's it. That's it. So you touched on and it's just a quick sidebar. And I thought is very important to expound on the monetary aspect of dating in general, because you mentioned his pockets or what have you, and truth be told, that's really an aspect people really need to come to terms with and be considerate of, another person's situation. Your own situation, not trying to be all, I don't know, flamboyant and the showing people, and like you said earlier, Dan, this social media age, people want to broadcast and publicize it, whatever, to each his own. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I wrote an article recently, and I touched on this the staycation kind of thing, right? A term that I think it became popular, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago, give or take. And so many people now are starting to partake in these staycations. I wanted to bring it up too, because that's like the next best thing. A staycation away. You mentioned, the romance, the date in the house or what have you, cooking the picnic or what have you. I'm telling you, there's nothing like going up the road and experiencing the same thing. Okay, I'm not gonna push no date or my thoughts on you two. You guys wrote the book. You guys have written the book, and obviously, given Dan's experience of batting near 1,000, he can definitely write a couple books on dating. I want to ask you guys this, and I'm gonna get ready to close this out. Married folks have been in long-term relationships or what have you. You get a little accustomed to things. You get comfortable, right? So with saying that, what can couples do to kind of keep the creativity going? What are one or two things that come to mind?
For me, communication is like the biggest thing. You have to be able to communicate so that you'll know what the next steps are. If you don't talk to each other, then you don't know. And I'm trying to think. Oh, gosh. That's a good question.
No, but I mean, okay, we throw that word out there a lot, communication. A lot of folks truly don't understand what that really means.
Okay, so when I say communication, you have to be able to listen even when you're talking. or communicating with each other.
Mhm.
If you're not a good listener, then you're gonna miss out on a lot of things. Like there's some things that like, I mean, just random stuff throughout any time. Like I know that he's really big on service, and so when he's not here, he's probably out somewhere helping somebody else do something. So if you know those types of things, then it makes a lot more sense when it comes to doing things for them. Like so for example, because he does so much for other people, I get him a Lowe's gift card, just random Lowe's or Home Depot or Amazon, because he likes teetering with things. And so just stuff that I know that he will enjoy. So he's not supposed to eat a lot of chips.
Okay.
But every so often, if I'm going to the store and he'll say, "Will you bring me some chips?" And I get excited like a little kid. I'm like, "No," but then I'll get them.
They still call me Chip Monster, Dan. It's okay. It's okay. You are not alone.
I'm not the only one.
No, brother. You
must
are not
be a
alone.
man thing.
It's definitely a man thing. My son is Chip Monster Little 2. That number 2, I mean. Yeah, he is. It's definitely a man thing.
Yeah,
no,
but
that makes sense.
I mean, it's the little things that matter. It's right. And I really think because we've had like our uncle and aunt, 2 sets of uncles. Well, no, 3 maybe. Mary, Bessie, and Johnny. So we've had like 3 sets of aunts and uncles who were married 25 plus years. And then my sister and her husband, they've been married, I think in the 30 plus maybe. So when we think about, I guess, couple stuff, it's more so of the traditional and just like a fad, anything that you do with a fad, if it was hot and popping back in the day, it's hot and popping again now. So resorting back to a lot of the things that the older generations did for each other is coming back into play with more mature couples. And I think that the younger couples can learn a lot from it. Just, piggybacking off of what Dan said, when it comes to like there's probably, if we ever go anywhere together, there's no way. And he's also instilled this in our son and our daughter.
Okay.
You are not touching the door handle of the car or the building. You are not going to touch it. You stand and you wait. And in a lot of cases, when it's going into a building, it's once the door is open, they're checking to make sure that it's safe, and then you can go in. Right. And so it's just things like that. I mean, I don't know if that fits the mold of what a lot of people are doing, but
you're right. To your point, unfortunately, in a way, a lot of people aren't doing that any longer currently. But I do see, you guys as well can attest to this. I read stories, folks are talking about some of the older traditional things, and those things shouldn't be old or traditional. They should be ongoing, but whatever, that's in a perfect world. But my point is, I've seen a lot of articles that attest to a lot of those things coming back. Younger guys, and not just younger guys, just men in general are starting, more men are starting to take the lead into the things that we used to see and that some of us are still doing today. So no, that was perfectly fitting for you to share that. Hey, look, this has been an absolute pleasure getting this information from you two. Dan, I told you, I have several notes that I've taken, and I'm playing right now with my hand. But when I panned away a couple times, I literally did take some notes because I'm telling you, I'll openly admit it. There are, we have different experiences, right? different ways we do things and what have you, given our upbringing, and what works for you guys isn't going to work for the other lady and the guy, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But at the same time, certain tidbits that you are sharing will kind of make some light bulbs go off, and make folks think and look at things a little differently when it comes to specifically dating, but from a creative romance perspective. So thank you guys so much for joining me during this segment. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having
Okay.
us.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, well, everybody, that was again Dan and Vonetta Parham breaking it down, giving us their viewpoints on what creative romance looked like to them, upon giving us additional insight and background with respect to how they met in their courtship or what have you. So I really wish that was as informative to you guys as it was for me. And yes, I took my notes. I hope you did as well. But if you want to follow us, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Where Writing Speaks. Thanks for your continued support of lifewriting.com, Where Writing Speaks.